2:00 this afternoon. Now, a fixture of festive fundraising in Lytham has been saved thanks to a local care home company. Lytham Roundtable's Santa Sleigh has been an attraction since the 1980s, but it nearly didn't happen due to expensive repairs needed to the float. Well, following a plea in early November for donations to fix it, Visiting Angels stepped in. Joining me in the studio this morning, we've got a cast of thousands. I've never seen it so busy. It's really good. So we've got Lisa Footman from Visiting Angels. We have got Raz Shahid, who is chairman of the Lytham Roundtable, and we've got Steve Singleton, who's president of the Lytham Roundtable as well. A very good morning to you all.
Good morning.
A very good morning. Who should I start with? I think...
Okay.
We'll come to the president first.
Okay. Happy to help.
Tell me about the float, Santa's Sleigh. How long has this been going?
Wow. Well, certainly from the late 70s, I would say. I joined Table at the age of 22 in 78.
Wow.
And I've been doing it every year since, even after they kicked me out, because under the Round Table rules, you leave the organisation at the age of 45. But I just can't keep away, and I will play Santa every year they need me, so I'm always there.
And what does it mean to the community? Because where I live, we see the Round Table, Santa come round on his sleigh, and it becomes such a fixture of Christmas, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's not about fundraising with the float, and Round Table is about fun, fellowship and fundraising, but with the Christmas float, it's as much about the community spirit. So many people say to us on the doorstep when we go every night, my Christmas starts here with your visit.
It's lovely.
It's absolutely the best feeling ever when people will say that.
Yeah.
Especially when they're alone. There's people coming to the door that wouldn't normally come to the door in the evening, but they know you're coming, and they will come to the door and say thank you.
You can hear it.
Absolutely.
You can hear it a mile off, can't you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely lovely. Thank you so much, Steve. Raz Shahid, you are the chairman of the Lytham Roundtable. So what happened with regards to the float and the fact that this nearly didn't happen?
Hi, thanks for having us.
You're more than welcome.
What we do, we don't have a storage facilities as such, so we have to break the sleigh down and put it into pieces in one of the storage unit. So we have to rebuild it, and we have to invest money in it and put more lights in it to test everything's okay.
Yeah.
So that's why we put a social media message out, and Angels stepped in and helped us to make this event happen.
Fantastic.
And like Steve said, Roundtable is mainly volunteers, and when we are out in the rain and the snow, and the looks on the faces on the kids, that just makes a difference to us, really.
Yeah.
And all the frown turns upside down, as the saying is. And honestly, Roundtable is amazing.
And so, as you mentioned there, Lisa Footman from Visiting Angels, you saw this plea, you stepped in. Why?
So when I was a little girl, my dad was one of the original tablers. In fact, he was a tabler with Steve back in the day. And I remember him coming home every night during the Christmas period, running the sleigh, loving it, bringing so much joy, like Steve and Raz said, to the kids' faces and the community. My dad actually sadly passed away 2 years ago. So I wanted to do something lovely in his memory and bring the community together again. I know that he would have been absolutely loving all this, wouldn't he, Steve? Yep. He was a community pharmacist. He used to come home at 6 o'clock after work, quick tea, quick change, get back on the float. So I know he'd be looking down and thinking this was absolutely fantastic that it's back on the road.
And you must be chuffed to bits that they've stepped in.
Oh yeah, I was a good friend of Paul's for many years, and it was very sad when he died very, very young. I'm saying young from my perspective, but yeah, he was young. But yeah, I mean, Paul was very enthusiastic, and when I heard that Lisa's company was coming forward to this, I thought that was terrific, absolutely stunning, and a great way to remember Paul.
Fantastic. And Visiting Angels, what do you do? What is that?
So we are a home care company that is all about providing good quality care in people's homes to let them live as independently as possible. We're different in that we pay our carers more than anybody else, so it's quite a simple formula. What it means is that the carers are well rewarded and look after our clients really, really well. For us, care homes and residential homes actually do Christmas really, really well. And a lot of our clients have spent a lot of time over the past couple of months watching television, socially isolated, and it's difficult to bring joy to them all the time. So any kind of little glimmers of things like the round table float just brings that little glimmer of joy to some of these people's lives who are struggling with the TV, all the bad news and things on at the moment. And the clients are absolutely loving it.
So the sleigh turns up outside some of these residential places?
Yeah, so the clients are in their own homes and they'll pull the curtains back. The music's really important to them, the visuals, and actually seeing kids, because elderly people love seeing children, and particularly smiling children. And it's great to see them swarming around the float with Santa, making a noise, and it's been brilliant, actually.
Fantastic. And of course, something like the Santa sleigh and Lytham Round Table, as you touched on, Raz, it's volunteers doing this, isn't it?
Yeah, Round Table is a volunteer. It's all the volunteers giving up their own time, and it's an international organization. Really, we're all over. We are Round Table in mostly every town, every city, and that's what they do: Santa sleigh and the fireworks, and just it's something to give back to the community. And any money raised just goes straight back out to the community.
Fantastic. We will talk more about that shortly, about the organisations that you help in, and most importantly, when people can see the sleigh this year. So do keep listening to BBC Radio Lancashire. The time is approaching 11:30. Rah, rah. 2 o'clock this afternoon. I have got such a busy studio this morning. With me is Raz Shahid, who is chairman of the Lytham Round Table. We've got Steve Singleton, who's the president of the organisation, and as well we have got Lisa Footman from Visiting Angels. I love that, the fact that your staff are called angels.
Yeah, we call all our carers angels, and the clients actually love it, and they say, well, when is my angel coming today?
Fantastic. It is so lovely. So we are talking this morning about the fact that Lytham Round Table's Santa's sleigh, which has been going, Steve, as you mentioned there, late 70s.
It's in the late 70s.
It's a heck of a long time, isn't it? It really is a fixture within the community. Tell me about the local organisations that you support through the fundraising with the sleigh.
Well, we have a charity fund, and over the years we've donated, I would think, far and wide to small groups, everything from dance groups, primary schools, the local hospital over many years, of everything from minibuses to greenhouses. I mean, we pool all our money together with what we do, an annual firework event, which always brings in several £1,000s every year. So with the money, with that and with the Santa sleigh, we know we've got a good pool of money to look at in the new year to distribute far and wide as far as we can.
Fantastic. Hold that thought about the sleigh, because I want to find out when people can see it this year in Lytham. We'll come back to that. Raz, I just want to ask you about the fact, we've touched on this already, that it's volunteers obviously that do this, but you could do with it maybe a little bit of help in terms of looking for somewhere to store the sledge, and as well maybe donations of sweets and things like that you can hand out to the children.
Yes, thanks for that. Currently we are looking for a little bit of space in a storage unit where we can store our sleigh, so we don't have to break it every year and come end of December, and then we can work on it throughout the year and make it better and bigger. Really, that's what we're looking for.
So if anybody's listening, maybe in the Lytham, Fylde Coast area, that sort of thing, nothing too massive. You're not looking for a giant facility, just somewhere to store it.
Just a small space to. You can only get towed by. It's not a big sleigh either, so just a little bit of space so we can work on it and make it better. Maybe possibly put a reindeer with lights on it.
Oh, bigger
make
and
it bigger and better.
Reindeer.
That's what we want to do.
Not just the one, maybe 10.
And same for sweets. Currently, we purchase the sweets, so if that can, again, the money can be saved for the charity, for local causes.
Fantastic. Really good stuff. Steve, back to you. When can people see the sleigh this year? And give us an idea of the route.
Wow. We change our routes quite a lot. Raz is probably better on this, but we have selected dates, and the routes are around Lytham and St Anne's. What we try and do is split Lytham some nights and St Anne's the other. Back in its day, there was a St Anne's round table that sadly closed,
right.
but they had their own float. So there was no problem in getting to every street corner. But now it's just one float for the entire town. So we try our level best.
You can only be so many places.
Exactly,
You can't be everywhere.
That's right.
Just looking at some of the information I've got here, on the 16th of December, what day is that then? Is that this coming weekend? It's Saturday, isn't it? Yeah, Saturday the 16th is going to be at Lytham Booths between 9:30 in the morning.
Static.
Yes, we call those static. So
Yes.
we're at superstores on mostly weekends.
Fantastic. 20th at the Little in Lytham as well. 22nd at Booths in St Anne's. Have you got some information there as well?
Yeah, we're also out tonight, really.
Oh.
We're out tonight on Balmoral. We'll start at Balmoral Road tonight in St Anne's. Then we're out again this Thursday, the 14th of December, from Carlisle Road, now Keswick Road. Then we're out again on Sunday, which is we jokingly call it run. It's the longest run ever. So we go Lytham. It's our biggest run. We start in Norfolk Road in Lytham. I think that's like 8 miles at least walk.
Fantastic.
That's our biggest run, and it's one of the best runs, to be honest.
And I'm sure people will be able to hear it with the jingle bells.
Oh, they can. The music you can hear for miles. And then again, we're out on Tuesday the 19th of December, Smithy Lane. Then we finish on Thursday the 21st of December. We start on Boston Road. Then we finish at one of our local pub. They've invited the local kids around one of the states. Yeah.
Fantastic. And if anybody wants any further information about that, if you're not online, just call us here at BBC Radio Lancashire and we can share the information with you. I'll give you my contact details again in just a sec. Lisa, I just want to come back to you and the reasons that you sort of stepped in to help. I know you've got your own memories as a child of being involved in the sleigh. And, of course, you're doing this in memory of your lovely dad. What would he make of all this?
I think he'd be laughing his head off that the round tablers are still traipsing the streets every night. I think he'd definitely be laughing that Steve is still involved and he hasn't managed to delegate that. But no, on a serious note, he was a big guy in the local community, very well known, and I think he'd be really proud and happy to see it continuing.
It's been a pleasure to speak to you all. Lisa Footman, thank you. Raz Shahid as well, and Steve Singleton from the Lytham Round Table. Thank you and good luck with the sleigh this year.
Thank you very much.